On today's Fixing Bugs and Stuff, we're going to look at the front apron. Okay, looking at the front apron. This car was in a garage, so luckily it's not rotted out in here. I started to move some stuff, and someone, I guess they started to paint a little bit in here on top of the rust, which didn't adhere to it. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna take like a wire brush, come in here and clean this all up. I already checked out the bumper brackets here. Well, not the bumper brackets, but I guess it's bumper brace. And these all look good on the inside, so I already checked them out. And the way to check them out is you take off the front rubber here, and you can kind of look through there. You can see all the way if there's any rust. Sorry about the wind. It's kind of windy out here today, but that's what I'm going to do next. Wire brush this, or wire wheel it, if that's a word, and clean this up. Okay, first I want to take off this tag here, so that way I can get behind it, so I can clean it up and paint it. So, it's kind of hard to get a drill bit in here, but I got the short pyramid bit, and I believe it's about 3/16 this here. I just want to break the head of this rivet, so it's kind of hard to get in here with a drill bit, so go slow. I'm doing it at an angle. You see it came right out. Doesn't take much, so this part out. So I recommend using this. It's pretty easy, and these I believe are aluminum, just like the tag itself. So just go a little bit at a time. And that's it. Comes right out. Here you can put the rivets back in. So just be sure that you don't drill all the way through this. So anyway, that's out. And now the back here I can address with the wire brush. Okay, I wire brushed it, wire wheeled it. It's all nice and clean. I use paint thinner to kind of wipe it down too. It seems like in this black here, somebody tried to, I guess, paint it or seal it before with some kind of rubberized coating. I don't know why they didn't do the whole thing. It seems like they went around the washer fluid and the brake fluid and never got in here. So it's like a half job, not good. Anyway, luckily this didn't rust through. So everything looks good. So what I'll do later on, I'll clean this again, prep it for paint. I have a paint that'll go in there real nice. And while I was cleaning stuff up, I did find this guy. So I'm gonna have to get one of those weld nuts to put in here. So that'll fix that. And some of the sheet metal. For this hole right here, I pulled off one of these weld nuts off of a new panel, and it does fit in there. If that's all you have, you can kind of center it up in there and then weld it. So I can do that. Or if you don't have any of those, you can use this weld nut here. I ordered this from CIP1. Don't put it in like that. That's a boss. It's gonna stick out, and your fender goes here, and your bolt goes on here. So it's not a way to do it. You want to flip it around and put it in like that. So you can get this pretty centered, and then weld that on. So that's what I got to do next. Okay, now that's welded in. I just need to clean it up a little bit. I'm gonna address this whole side eventually before I put the fenders on. But now we've taken care of that, which is great. The one on the bottom is fine. Just need to clean up around it. So we're good to go on that. And now we can continue on working on this front area. Okay, I just want to point out one more thing. There's approximately like 4 holes on the bottom of this here. So you have one left, one right, and 2 here in the center, and 1 more here in the center. So actually it's 5 holes instead of 4. So that's for basically drainage. As you're driving down the road, I know sometimes water can go inside of here. And the worst part is that here in the center, sometimes water just sits right in here if you let the car sit. Now if you're driving the car a lot, eventually the water will make it to these holes, especially these 3. And if you're turning left or turning right, then it'll go out into this hole. So water really doesn't sit in here if you're driving the car. Now if the car is sitting and you know that if you had a flood or the hood was open and water got in somehow, if water gets in here somehow, you just remove the spare tire, take a look, and if you have water, standing water in here, definitely dry it up. But in this case, you can actually plug it, and I'll show you what you can plug it with. So I have these plugs. They're meant for cars, like in their trunk. They come in different sizes. So I'm gonna use the M9s. What's right there? M9s is the size. And what you can do is take a M9 like this, and it fits right in the hole. I prefer this method. So this fits right in. It's not that hard to get in there. These fit in there loose. I didn't want them tight, so they kind of move back and forth to allow drainage. But the benefit of this, and I'll show you, I'm going to take some water, I'm going to spray it underneath of here. You'll see if any water comes through here. I'll show you what I'm spraying here. See the plug that's right here? I'm spraying water. See if any water comes through. And that's essentially, you may see that as you're driving down the road. Other than me getting a hose and spraying up in there. But see in here, no water's coming through, really. But the good part about using these plugs, since they're loose, if you get water in here, I'm gonna spray water in here as well. See how it begins to pull. It's a shame they didn't put a hole here in the center, because that's where usually the water goes. But if you let this sit here, which I'm gonna do, and see if it drains. Like as you can see, it did drain around the plug. You have a little bit sitting there, but the rest of it will drain or dry. And as you can see, you have water that pulls up in here. Eventually, if you're driving the car, this is gonna go back into here. Oh, if you want to see the water underneath coming out, you see the water drip out. And that's what it's gonna do. Anyway, just a side tip. You don't have to do it. You can leave them open if you like. But anyway, the paint I'm going to be using is this from Rust-Oleum. They're not a sponsor. They're not a sponsor. So anyway, this is a rubberized coating that's gonna go inside of here. And the good part is that it can go on rusted or bare metal, which is great, because this is a little bit of rust. It's got surface rust. It'll definitely adhere to that, because the rust acts as like an etching like an etching surface, meaning it has a good bond to it. So I'll definitely put this stuff on. I used it in the past. I'm not sure how long this has been on the market, but this stuff, I've used it a couple years back and it's worked great. As you can see here, it's on that firewall too. And it's like a self-leveling thing too. It kind of goes on pretty even. So that will be the next step. So next time you see this area, it will be painted. Now I'm not going to paint all. I'll paint this face here, of course down there, but I'm not going to go all the way up the sides, and because the paint is still good. It's not necessary. But don't put too thick of a coat, because then you will definitely not be able to put your plug in here. And if you do a thick coat, just go and kind of ream it out. Don't take all the paint off, but just kind of ream it so your plug can float in here so the water can dissipate. All right, so next time you see this, it will be complete. And the magic of video or YouTube is how it works. Okay, this pretty much dried, so we're good to go. It's about 48 hours later. What I need to do now is put the nameplate on. So I cleaned it up, kind of polished it a little bit, cleaned it up, and I'm gonna stick that on. So I'll show you the rivets that I'm gonna be using. These rivets are, I believe they're 1/8 inch round, and I think these are 5/16 long. So I'm gonna install these. Make sure you put the tag in the right side up. If not, you're gonna have a hard time. Nobody wants to have a hard time. So I don't know if you can see that. The camera's a little shaky today. I don't know why. I'm gonna use my rivet gun here. That's in. It's not going anywhere. So the plate's in now. We can add our little rubber grommets. If you can see it. Add this little rubber grommet on the bottom. Just snaps right in. And I made sure I didn't go too heavy, so the water should go through, but we can test it. So let's see. Okay, so we're gonna do the water test here. Make sure it drains on that plug. Let's get a nice little pull in there. There we go. See if it drains. Let's take a look underneath. See if it's drip. You'll see it drip, drip, drip. There you go. So it's dripping out. Just make sure that these are clean in this area. Underneath, there it goes. Underneath and above. I mean, all you gotta do is wipe it and keep the dirt out of it. But that's it. That is it. So hopefully you guys like this video. Hopefully it's helpful. And please like and subscribe and comment. Let me know what you guys think. If you want to use these plugs or not, or just leave an open hole. Let me know. Well, thanks for watching.